Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I have so much that I want to teach you, and I'm very excited that you're here. My passion is really in helping people to find themselves after losing themselves in the rat race of life. And there's so many ways that we can do this, but in this masterclass, I'm going to teach you the three core concepts to support you on this journey. But before we get started, I just want to say that I don't take it lightly that you've committed to spending the next 60 to 90 minutes with me, and I promise I'm going to make it worth your time. We're all here for the same purpose. We're looking for relief from our pain or freedom from a life that we feel trapped in. And each of us is looking to transform our lives in one way or another. And this masterclass is just what you need to realize what your potential is. At the very least, it's going to open your mind to what's possible. My goal is to empower you to get to know yourself better so that you can see the power that you have in yourself. So if in the chat box, if you can tell me what your biggest struggle is and what it would take for you to feel empowered. And again, the chat box it's a little box. It looks like a cloud. Mine's in a black line up at the top. Yours could be at the bottom. It depends on how you're looking at this. So I'm really excited to share this with you today and to help you to really begin having an understanding of how many things really do impact us on a deep level and we don't even realize it. So I have this extra special bonus that I'm going to give anyone who stays to the end of the live webinar for free, because I know that after this masterclass, you're going to want to dive right in and get to know yourself better. This freebie is a beginner's guide to human design, and it's to help you to understand what human design is and how it can help you to create the life of your dreams and become the best version of yourself. It's jam-packed with over 30 pages of juicy details about human design and how we can put it to work for us in our own lives. There's so much about us that we don't know because we're never really taught where to find the deepest parts of ourselves. In fact, we're taught by society to hide those parts of us, but it's where our potential lives. This is the key that unlocks your superpowers, so this guide is priceless. I want you to know how much I appreciate you, so I'm going to give this to you for free just for spending your quality time with me today. So if you stay till the end of the live masterclass, watch for this link in the chat to get your free guide. And if you can't stay until the end, no worries, you're still going to get the replay. So this is an opportunity for you to start making yourself a priority and give this time back to yourself. So it's really important that you block out all distractions and take this time to focus on you and you alone. So put your phone in another room, close all the other tabs on your computer, put a do not disturb sign on the door. Give this time back to yourself. It's so rare that we can give anything our undivided attention, but you're here for a reason, and I want to make sure that you're able to focus on this training. This is when you start learning to make you a priority. And I promise you that you will never, ever invest in anything more important than yourself. So since you've taken the time to join me, I want you to get as much out of this as you can. So I'm going to make you a promise today. By the end of this training, I'm going to show you why it's not your fault that you've become disconnected and how to find your new and improved midlife identity by using your unique energy to guide you to what's right for you. I'm going to show you how to know what's working and what's not just by understanding your human design so that you know exactly where you need to make the adjustments in your life so that you can grow into your purpose. I'm also going to teach you how to use those crazy stories that might take over your mind as catalysts for your growth on your journey to self-confidence. These stories are literally the superpowers, and when we know how to use them, it really can transform lives. So specifically, you're going to discover why what you've been doing for years to feel better about yourself hasn't worked, and instead, I'm going to walk you through what does work and why. I'm going to introduce you to the new you, the one that's been in you this whole time, but you were never formally introduced to. Imagine being able to skip over all of the Googling, trial and erroring, and just do what works. I know when I learned this process that I'm going to share with you, it completely changed my life. It certainly changed my clients' lives, and I know it can change yours too. This training is not for anyone who's just looking for a quick fix solution because honestly, there really isn't one. The process of self healing takes time and it takes work. It takes a certain level of dedication to yourself. So, if you're dedicated to yourself and you're willing to dig deep within yourself to learn who you really are, then you definitely want to stay to the end because that's where I'm going to give you an opportunity to work with me and see for yourself how the holistic energy empowerment system can help you to find your inner power. So, congratulations for being here today and committing to yourself. I have to say, I'm really proud of you because I know it isn't always easy to put ourselves first. The hardest part is taking the first step, and you've done that by showing up for yourself here today. So, congratulations for committing to you. I know that when I was going through this period in my life, I was riddled with anxiety and confusion, battling negative self talk, worrying about everyone but myself, about what everyone else was saying. I felt completely disconnected and I wondered what my purpose in life was. If you felt any of those things and are anything like me, you're probably sick of feeling stuck and wondering why the same lessons keep repeating themselves, and more so, how to make it stop. If you're nodding your head yes in agreement to any of these points, I promise you I am not a stalker watching you. I've actually done all of these things. And I promise you, whatever it is that you're doing that's not working, it's not your fault. I'll show you how to recognize these thoughts so that when they show up, you can reroute them instead of letting them fester inside your mind and create a whole bunch of stories that are only going to drag you backwards. After this masterclass, you're going to be able to turn your thoughts into superpowers to help you to heal and fast track your growth, as long as you're willing to put yourself first and step outside your comfort zone. Like you've likely spent the last several years or so, maybe even your life up till now, taking care of everyone but you. And now you want to start focusing on you, but you don't know how or where to even begin. I've been there and I know what it's like to feel lost and lonely. It's painful to feel like you don't know who you are or why you're here, or worse yet, where to go to find yourself, or even just to make the pain stop. We want to have a life where we feel like we matter, like we are important. A life where we don't have to feel guilty for doing something for ourselves. To live a life where we are enough, where we don't ever feel like we have to hide who we really are, and where we can feel safe saying no. Imagine what it would feel like to be comfortable with who you are and standing up for what you believe in without worrying about what anyone else thinks. I want you to take a moment and just put the image of that person that you've always dreamed of being in your mind. Use your imagination and really picture yourself as that person. How does that person behave? How do they interact with the world? Now, take a moment to imagine what it would be like to become that person. What's one step that you could take towards that goal? All right, so I'm just going to give you a minute to really use your imagination and imagine yourself as that person and what it would take to become that person. Okay, I want to talk about this for a minute. So, what did that image look like for you? Put that in the chat. What was one characteristic that you're looking forward to embracing in your life? For me, I couldn't wait to feel comfortable in my own skin without worrying about what anyone else thought, never mind everyone else. That person that you just imagined can be you. The behaviors that you see in that image are the behaviors that you need to instill. All it takes is aligned action towards being that person. Just that one baby step that you can take towards that goal is still a step forward. What I'm about to share with you is the fastest, simplest way to take your first several steps towards gaining confidence and taking your life back and to the next level. So before we go any further, I want to formally introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Jody. I'm a certified and professionally trained quantum human design specialist, an energy healer, and a mindset coach, as well as the founder of the Holistic Energy Empowerment System. I work with people, mostly midlife moms, who have spent their entire lives doing everything for everyone but themselves. But now that they've realized it, they're struggling to find their own purpose. They don't even know where to begin to know who they are, and they don't know how to take back control of their lives. And they're also worried about what everyone else will think once they do take that control back. In my coaching practice, I use human design to help people to understand their uniqueness so that they can use it in a way which allows them to understand themselves on a deep level while also supporting their growth and inner peace so that they can let go of those feelings of struggle and guilt. I feel it's really important to understand our uniqueness in our healing journey because it allows us to understand the why behind many of the questions that we ask ourselves throughout our lives, like, why did this happen? Why am I here? Why do I feel this way? Why do I keep thinking this way? I have a goal to get this powerful tool into the hands of every individual who forgot how to make themselves a priority. It's important to me that you learn from someone who understands what you're going through, someone who is also a professional with expertise in decoding your human design to show you how your unique energy is designed to work for you so that you can learn to recognize the limiting beliefs that might be holding you back. As a certified human design professional, I can help you to mitigate self-doubt and tame those crazy thoughts that might be taking over your mind. I'm also the creator of the Holistic Energy Empowerment System and the Courage to Become Empowered podcast. I'm an entrepreneur and owner of Infinite Soul, which is a spiritual based business where I help people to connect to their soul on a deeper level and support those on a journey to find themselves, to help align them with their inner wisdom so that they can begin creating a life that they can't wait to wake up to every day. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am really deep down. I'm a mom who understands the crazy lifestyle of parenthood. I understand how losing yourself can happen so easily. As parents, we spend all of our time making sure that the kids have everything they need and providing a well-rounded environment for them to grow in while also juggling all of the other responsibilities that come with adulting. In my case, on top of raising my family, I was also caring for ailing parents, working a full-time job where I was responsible for a team of people from all different backgrounds. I was juggling all of the kids' extracurricular activities and still trying to find time for myself. I've suffered from low self-confidence and low self-esteem my entire life, and I've always felt like I've struggled to fit in. To compensate, I had a habit of always putting everyone else's needs above my own, thinking that maybe that would help them to realize my value, trying to prove myself, trying to prove to someone else who I was. I did things just to feel like I fit in, even when they didn't feel right. And in some cases, I didn't even think about myself in the process. So I definitely understand some of the self-sabotaging behaviors that we can inflict on ourselves. I know that this is a tough journey to travel on. I had no warning. My life just imploded, and I didn't have any idea who I was, what I was supposed to be doing, or who I could even trust to confide in. There were a million thoughts running through my mind, and most of them weren't even about me or what was best for me. They were mostly about everyone else and what everyone else would think, say, or do. This is when I started to realize that I was living my life for everyone but myself. I was doing everything in my power to hold myself together, to not let anyone see me, like really see me for who I was, because I felt so weak and so defeated. I had spent my entire life having to be strong. But I was so tired of being strong. And on the inside, I didn't feel strong at all. I felt more broken than anything. But because I had always played the part, I felt like I couldn't give myself permission to break down. I started to realize that I spent a good portion of my life pretending to be somebody that I'm not because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. That was me 3 years ago when I was struggling to find my place in the world and wondering if I even had a place in the world anymore. I was struggling with my purpose and wondering why I was here. I kept thinking there had to be more to life, but I had no idea how to find it. I tried to ignore my pain, but it was too big for that. I drank more because sometimes I would just pass out and not have to feel the pain. But that caused me more pain because I grew angrier at myself for allowing myself to do that. I tried sharing my story, hoping to gain clarity, but my pain was so deep and some of it was so dark that I was afraid to share it all. So clarity wasn't going to come that way. I tried therapist after therapist, but I just couldn't connect. And honestly, I didn't really want to tell them my whole story. It was too painful to repeat. I'm having a hard time even repeating it for you today. I tried anti-anxiety meds, but this just added more meds to my daily routine, and I wanted off the meds, not to add more. I'm sure some of you are probably struggling with these same things, or maybe even something similar. I'm sure I'm not the only one who was doing more harm than good because I thought I was doing all the right things. My life was continuing to fall apart, and I knew I could no longer live like this. I had hit my rock bottom, and I decided no more. That decision led to figuring out what I had been doing for all of those years was almost all completely wrong. Through a lot of trial and error, I figured out how to get the answers to these questions that had plagued me for years. I learned so much about myself, which taught me how to live my life with purpose and learn to be comfortable in my own skin without having to take meds or continue bad coping mechanisms. And that's what brings me here to you today, sharing my methodology with you so that you can skip over all of the years of trial and error and the struggle that I went through and just follow this proven step-by-step process to learn how to find your power and live your dream life so that you can release the stress and anxiety from your life. I went through a lot of trial and error, and I had to unlearn everything that I thought was the right thing to do because I quickly discovered how wrong it was. In order to unlearn, I had to learn where all of those crazy thoughts that I was having were coming from. I was intrigued and fully committed to figuring out who I was and finally valuing me. I was definitely not going back to my old ways where I put everyone else's needs above my own and allowed people to take advantage of me. Releasing this pain was the most freeing thing that I have ever done and ever felt before. But even though I'm now able to live a life without feeling weighed down with all of that pain, it took me a little bit over 2 years to figure it all out. And with all the trial and error I had to do to finally find the right balance, I was able to create a system that can help you without you having to waste the time going through all of the trial and error yourself. This step-by-step process will guide you through each step of the way. I'm sure that you know how important time is when we feel that badly. We just want that suffering to end as fast as possible for good. If you follow my process, you can have that. And you can have that, you can have all the tools that you need in 12 sessions or less. But just with what I'm going to show you today in this masterclass, you can be well on your way to finding yourself. It took me a lot of time and a lot of patience, which I don't have a lot of, so that says a lot. And there was no way that I could have arrived at the holistic energy empowerment system without having invested in my professional education and becoming a certified human design expert. Understanding my energy on multiple different levels definitely aided in the process of healing from the inside out. There is so much to learn. I'm super passionate about this because I know how well it worked for me. And every time I look at my design, I see something else about me that I didn't know before, and that helps me to dig deeper. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. That's a quote by Jim Rohn that I live by. Before I found this process and made these changes in my life, I was disconnected from myself, from life itself. I was telling myself these crazy stories in my head. I was afraid of everything, resentful of my circumstances, and I felt alone, struggling with my self worth and feeling abandoned, taken advantage of, and taken for granted. I'm one of those people who needs to understand the why behind everything. I find myself asking why a lot. I'm not one of those people where you can just say, okay, here's what you do, now go do it. I need to understand the background behind it. Why do we do it that way? What's the reason behind it? And I really think that my need to understand on such a deep level is what filled my head with those millions of thoughts. I played different scenarios over and over in my mind, trying to understand why certain things happened, why it didn't work out the way I expected, or why I felt the way I did. And up until that point, I had never really thought about figuring myself out. I had always believed that the reason for my pain and anxiety were outside of me. I spent all of my time trying to figure out what everyone else was thinking and the outside circumstances. What was causing that? What were they thinking? What did I do wrong? Why did that happen? Why me? What I discovered through all of the trial and error was that in order to change my life, I was the one who had to make the changes. I finally saw how I had the power to change my life. I'm sure that many of you or all of you can probably relate to this, the need to understand the why behind everything in life. This is the system that helped me to understand the why behind everything. So by now you're probably thinking, well, that all sounds great, but how do I begin this journey of self-discovery? Well, you're in luck because that's exactly what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you where to look, how to recognize your limiting beliefs and your conditioning, and how to stop doubting yourself and tame those crazy thoughts in your head. How to gain self-confidence and shift into someone who loves themselves to the core of who they are so that they can have a life that they love. With these tricks and shifts in energy that I'm going to teach you, you're going to be able to create a life that you love without adding stress, meds, or therapy sessions. So let's start by looking at all the ways that are not working and why those are not working. So maybe you've been doing all the things that you were taught to do or that you've seen others do and wondering why it's not working for you. These are some of the things that both my clients and I have tried. Maybe you're trying to ignore your pain, thinking that maybe it'll just go away if you ignore it. Ignoring your feelings is only a temporary fix, and it doesn't allow you to heal that pain. It really creates an even bigger problem, and it extends that pain into other areas of our lives because those painful thoughts become a part of our belief system, a part of who we are. Or maybe you're self-medicating with alcohol or drugs to try to forget, like I did with alcohol. While this may temporarily numb the pain, when it comes back bigger because now you've had time to add to the stories that you're telling yourself. Now those stories are on steroids because you embellish them while you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs, which causes your stories to spiral out of control, and it leaps you into a life of chaos and drama, the exact things that you're trying to remove yourself from. Or maybe you've tried meds or other alternative coping mechanisms, hoping that they could at least make you feel a little better. While these are temporary fixes and they can help you to feel better, none of those address our core energy or our core beliefs, which is where our thoughts are originated. Or maybe you've gone to therapist after therapist looking for different results. When you don't know who you are, it's really difficult to convey what you want, never mind know how to get there. And it doesn't address your unique energy or teach you how to use it. These are all places where we've looked to find solutions. The solutions to what is bottled up inside of us are not going to come from outside of ourselves. Yet, this is where most of us go first on our journey. This brings me to core concept number one. It's not your fault. You've been conditioned by society and trained to look in the wrong places. The change begins with you. We have to stop looking outside ourselves and go within. We have to get to that voice in our minds that keeps telling us all the things that we are doing or have done wrong. This is our energy telling us where we need to heal. This is why it's so important to be conscious of those thoughts that pop into our heads. Our brains don't know the difference between what's real or what's imagined. Our brain believes that what we think about is what we want, and so it calls more of that back into our lives. That's why imagination is so powerful. The more we think about things, the more power we bring to creation. These are the seeds that you're planting in your subconscious mind, and it's from these seeds that we create. So the power is in changing those subconscious thoughts. This requires you to look at your energy to see where you've been conditioned, because those stories that you're telling yourself came from those experiences and beliefs that you've developed throughout your life. You've been conditioned by societal expectations to become someone that you're not. We all have. Life's not a costume or an overcoat where we can just take a one size fits all approach. There are so many intricate details, and each of us has different energies and different lessons to learn, yet we're all told what to do and how to do it. When we do something outside the norm, society's reaction causes us to feel like we did something wrong. It makes us feel uncomfortable, so we sock that away in our memory to never do that again. This changes who we are, and it causes us to lose ourselves, and it happens to every single one of us in one way or another. We're raised to believe that we're all humans and we should all look, act, and feel a certain way. But in actuality, each of us is completely different. We're all unique. We all have different soul curricula and all with different, unique, energetic designs that carve out different paths for us. We don't all have the same goals, dreams, desires, paths, or lessons, and therefore we can't all be expected to successfully operate in the same way. Yet that's what society tries to teach us. There are societal expectations that cause us to act in ways that are not who we are and not aligned with who we're meant to be. As a mother, our job is to raise happy, healthy, well-rounded kids. From the time we begin our motherhood journeys, most of us switch gears from ourselves to our kids because, well, that's our job and they need us more. Motherhood keeps us busy with things outside of us. We spend our free time with the kids, making sure we're giving them what they need in terms of nourishment and encouragement. And we sometimes tend to forget that we all have needs also. In our careers, we're taught to continually better ourselves, but in my case, the betterment of me was up to someone else. I was working hard to impress others, but what I was getting in return just wasn't fulfilling. I found that after spending time climbing the corporate ladder, I didn't actually like having to sell ideas I didn't believe in and justify them to a team that I knew was going to hate them too. Why was I spending all of this time fighting the corporate ladder when the higher I went, the more I had to sell someone else's ideas that I didn't trust or believe in? This only pushed me further from myself and caused me to become more disconnected from who I am and who I wanted to be. I realized I was becoming a puppet in my career, pushing myself to become what they needed me to be, not who I wanted to be. The truth is, for those of us on this journey, there comes a point where we just know something is wrong, that our life is not the way we pictured it would be, and we don't have any idea what to do about it. We end up feeling like a failure, bringing even more pain to our lives. I knew I had to get to the root of how I was feeling and look within myself. And I did this by looking into my unique energy. Energy shows up for us in multiple different ways, but one of the biggest is in our belief systems. Our unique beliefs cause our thought process to trigger emotional responses subconsciously without us even realizing it. Without addressing the root cause, we are giving our power away. The root cause is that our belief systems were created by us before we knew what they were, and they're deeply conditioned by our energy. Our belief systems were mostly created between the ages of 0 and 7. And at that stage of brain development, our brain's job is just to soak everything in and learn as much as we can. So that's all it's focused on. That's why they say that that stage of life has a lasting impact on child development. Logic and reasoning don't come into our lives until around age 5. So in many cases, our belief systems were formed without having logic and reasoning. As children, when we're learning, we don't know how to use our energy to guide us. So we create beliefs that are based on how society reacts to us. These outside influences create the story of who we are based on our beliefs. But is that truly our story? You see, our beliefs are the guiding direction in our life. They're our perceptions of the world. They're the choices that we make to believe something to be true. But this does not make them fact, but it does create our reality. So as humans, we live on autopilot 95% of the time. So our conditioned thought immediately triggers an emotion and pushes us into action. So without even realizing it, the next experience has been created. Each of these experiences solidifies a belief, even when we're not aware of it. The good thing is that we have the power to change our reality because we have the ability to choose our beliefs. In our brain, we have this system called a reticular activating system, or RAS. And this is the part of the brain that filters and prioritizes the information coming in, and it controls awareness. So the RAS gets activated to find confirmation of a belief. So it's constantly on the lookout to find proof of your beliefs being true. This then confirms that belief and it becomes a conviction. So you really believe it. It allows that belief to continually get stronger. And so you never look at it again because now it's a habit. This makes the cycle even more difficult to break. We're literally just walking through life on autopilot and missing out on opportunity after opportunity. For those of you that drive a car, remember when you first learned to drive and you paid attention to every little detail, you gripped the steering wheel and you paid attention to everything going on around you. And I bet you couldn't have even imagined getting from point A to point B without doing all that. But how many of you since then, or after having driven for a while, have driven home from work or gone somewhere and not even remembered the drive? That's your subconscious mind taking over. And this is why nothing that you've tried, like therapy, meds, or any other alternative coping mechanisms, were working, because none of those address our core energy and our core belief systems. We are not all the same. We have all had different experiences. We all have different energies, and how those two mix together in our lives is what creates our experiences. When you start to look within and address the meanings that you've given to your beliefs, you start to change your story. And when you start to change your story, you start to change your life. Your thoughts are what's holding you back. We have all had those crazy thoughts in our head at one time or another. You know, the thoughts that you're not good enough or worthy enough. Our negative self-talk can be so damaging and hold us back from finding our true self. These thoughts are part of our conditioning and of our belief systems and of our beliefs in ourselves. Part of societal pressures that throughout life caused us to create beliefs that we aren't worthy or lovable enough. These are the limiting beliefs that have held us back from finding our true self. Thoughts like, it's selfish to put myself first, the kids need me more. Well, I'm here to tell you that prioritizing yourself is one of the most selfless things that you can do. You'll be rejuvenated and refreshed so that you can handle life head on. The improvements that you make in your life are going to radiate through your children so that you're going to be helping them also. Society teaches us that it's selfish to do things for ourselves, but this is simply not true. The truth is, evolution after evolution, society has conditioned us to believe that in order to be great and do great things, we need to work hard at everything we do. Sometimes all we need is a little bit more heart-centered interactions. And when we are providing for ourselves, we are so much more in tune with who we are and what our heart desires. The white areas within our chart is where our guilt lives. So as you explore your energetic design, you're going to begin to find those beliefs that are not really yours at all. Maybe you think, I don't even know who I am, never mind what I want to do. Well, I understand that because I was in that same situation. I can show you how to take control of your life by learning who you are from the inside out. Once you know who you are, it's easier to figure out what you want in life and how to get it. We do this through our own unique energy. So it's a skill that you learn and can practice and master throughout your life. It's a tool that you can take with you so that you can continue to learn. It's not a learn it once and you're done type system. You learn it and you use it for the rest of your life to help you to continually gain a deeper understanding of yourself and of those around you. Or maybe you think this is just who I am, what I deserve, or I've tried that already, it won't work for me. Feeling bad for yourself is considered in human design to be a victim mentality, and it doesn't support a path of healing, and it's not going to help you to heal or to grow. This thought process is going to keep you feeling stuck, and it's a belief that needs to be reevaluated. Because you're right. If you believe that it's not going to work for you, then it's probably not. This is exactly how your energy works. These are some of those open areas that hold beliefs that you're not worthy. None of us is exempt from these areas of conditioning. It's how we're designed. But when we understand our human design, we're more aware of those areas and where we may hold some of that conditioning. So our thoughts are actually going to highlight those areas for us to work on. This is how we know what to work on within ourselves. And when you really want to change and you're willing to be 100% honest with yourself, this is where the magic happens. Or maybe you think, I don't have the support I need to work on myself. I need to be held accountable and really would like to be mentored. Well, lucky for you, this program does just that. Together, we create a support system. We have a weekly coaching session and a Facebook community where we help to mentor each other and support each other along the way. The coaching session is also a forum where you're going to have direct live access to me so that you can ask all the questions you like. And you can also ask in the Facebook group if you want to get others' feedback. It's a private group, so no one outside of the group will even know what you're asking or talking about. Or maybe you think that because everyone in your family has struggled with anxiety or depression, you're going to too because it runs in your family. Well, let me assure you that just because it runs in your family does not mean that you can't change that. When you know who you are and what you want, you have the power to break this cycle for future generations. It's really powerful. Imagine being able to change the generational patterns for your entire lineage. In fact, part of the point of understanding your human design is to do just that. Break out of your genetic conditioning patterns to help lead the collective to the next evolution. This is the power that you have within you. Or maybe like me, you're worried about what everyone else is going to think. I lived my life worried about what everyone else would think. And when I say everyone else, I mean everyone, whether they were a stranger or it was my mom and dad or my friends. I worried about what everyone else thought. But you're never really going to know what anyone else thinks. And honestly, it doesn't matter. Their view is based on their own personal belief systems, which come from their life lessons. This is your journey, not theirs. Focusing on yourself is the only way to ensure that you're able to make your dreams come true. Those thoughts running in your head about what other people will think are really your thoughts. You need to learn to use those as catalysts for your growth. They're leading you directly to where you need to look within yourself, and human design will guide you through your unique energy to show you exactly what you need to work on. We have to let go of those limiting beliefs because they're what's holding us back. Lucky for us, we have the power within us to do this. Once we know how to find these energies within us, we have to go to the next step, which brings us to core concept number 2, where I'm going to introduce you to the importance of change, the purpose of your energy, and how it shows up for you, as well as how to learn how to process it correctly to prevent anxiety, stress, and burnout. So, by the way, before I get to core concept number 2, for those of you that are looking for extra support, if you're not already a member of our public Facebook community group, make sure to join that. It's called Finding Your True Self, and it can be found at www.facebook.com/groups/self-love journey, all one word. So energy plays a key role in who we are and the life that we're here to create. The power of change is within you in the form of your energy, but you must commit to yourself and be open to change. Energy controls everything, including our health. There's so many ways in which energy shows up for us. It's constantly talking to us. Each of us has our own unique design, and there are no two humans that are ever going to live out their design in the same way. Yet we live in a society where we're conditioned to all live life the same way and to follow the same standards. Some of this makes no sense at all, yet here we are living that way because that's what society told us to do. It's no wonder we're so confused with who we are on the inside. We are the ones who need to make the change, because if we don't change, nothing will change. We need to create a new identity for ourselves. The role we've filled up to now in our life is changing, and so too do we need to change. The way we need to do this is by understanding who we really are on the inside. We do this by looking at our energy and how it shows up for us. It's important that we learn to work with our energy because energy is the guiding force of our lives. And understanding this helps us to practice awareness. And remember that our RAS acts as a filter. So it's really important to practice awareness, because if you're not practicing that, our RAS is going to immediately filter it before you even know what happens. We also need to learn to look at things from different perspectives, because just because you feel a certain way about something doesn't mean that everyone sees it that same way. They may have had events in their life that are much different than yours and causes them to look through a different lens. So when we can open ourselves up to seeing different perspectives, it helps us to have more compassion for others. Understanding our energy also helps us to reconnect with ourselves, with who we are on the inside. And it helps us to let go of the control that we think we have, because we really don't have control of anything, even though we think we do. And it also helps us to learn to express our emotion and channel it in a very healthy way. Holding on to negative energy has a far bigger impact in our lives than we even realize. When we don't properly process our feelings, this creates internal pressure. And this internal pressure creates more thoughts and emotions to match our thoughts and add stress and anxiety to our lives. So without proper metabolism, it creates stress and anxiety, and it leads to negative self-talk. And when not nurtured correctly, it can lead to mental and physical health problems. I don't know about you, but no one ever taught me this stuff growing up. I always thought it was normal to have negative self-talk, and I definitely never knew that it could literally make me sick. Energy needs to move freely. And when we put up those barriers, you know, the walls that we put up to prevent from being hurt again, it's those energetic barriers that cause a disturbance in the transportation of our energy, and that causes disease. We have what's called meridians in our body, and these are the channels that direct the flow of energy throughout our body. It's kind of like the circulatory system and how that directs the flow of blood. The meridians direct the flow of energy. So when we try to control things, it interrupts the energetic flow of our energy, and that can cause illness. When we understand that our unique energy, or what our unique energy is and how to work with it, it helps us to keep that energy flowing at a higher vibration level to keep the meridians happy and keep illness at bay. Our human design teaches us about these meridians and the energy centers within us and what kind of energy is metabolized where. Our emotions also play a pivotal role in how we manage our own stress. So it's really important to recognize our emotions so that we can metabolize that energy in the right way to prevent some of those blocks. There's four common ways that we can metabolize the energy of our emotions. And having this knowledge helps you to watch for those tendencies as part of your awareness so that you can change the way that you look at and process things. So there's suppression, which this is when you knowingly push down your feelings so that you can avoid feeling them. And typically we do this when we're not really sure about our feelings or when we're not ready to feel them. That can lead to physical and mental health problems, including mood swings, anger, headache, nausea, and so much more. We also could repress our emotions and our feelings, and this is when we unknowingly push down our feelings. And usually that's done when we feel shame, guilt, or fear around those feelings. And that can lead to denial, rejection, and projection. We project what's repressed inside of us to the world around us. And so we're going to notice those tendencies in others if we have them inside of us. So when we recognize traits in others, it's our indicator to look within because there's something within us that needs to be healed. This process takes a considerable amount of open-mindedness. We can also try to escape our emotions. And this is when we avoid feelings altogether by focusing on something else. We use distraction to try to prevent us from feeling the pain. This causes us to develop an inability to be alone, to be still, or to allow ourselves to be bored, which can cause selfishness and lead to addiction and the inability to form deep connections. And then the last way that we can process our feelings is through, or our emotions is through expression. Feelings need to be neutralized, and through expression, they can be vented or acted out. But in order to be properly expressed, you have to accept the emotion that you feel and channel it into something more positive, which is where you use it as a catalyst for your growth. You use it to learn what within you needs to be healed. And that's where you need to practice awareness. Having the awareness to watch our emotions helps us to connect with our energy so that it can guide us to where we need to heal. It also allows us to process it in a healthy way through our expression, which helps us to let go and release the pressure of holding that energy back. And then it opens the meridians back up to a healthy energy flow. When you hold on to something for longer than 90 seconds, it's because you're rerunning that scenario over and over in your mind, creating additional physiological responses. Oh, the cats just knocked something down. This is what's creating those stories that you're telling yourself, creating your beliefs and causing you to hold on to feelings and thoughts that are no longer serving you. So in order to heal it, we have to acknowledge it, but we don't have to react to it. Just by acknowledging it and becoming aware of it, we have the information to begin transforming it. There was a study that was done by Jill Bolt Taylor, who is a Harvard-trained neuroscientist, and her study supports that the chemical process that occurs in the brain when we have an emotional reaction only lasts 90 seconds. So this is where the 90-second rule comes from. She says that when an event occurs, you're going to get stressed and your body is going to release cortisol into your bloodstream. If you can stick with that feeling for 90 seconds without reacting to it, but just by observing your feelings, you can clear those feelings. If you add more thoughts to this, you add emotion, and emotion causes more stress, which in turn releases more cortisol. This keeps that cortisol flowing in your system for much longer than necessary. So paying attention and just acknowledging the feeling and letting it go, or just letting it flow, will help you to release it. When we allow ourselves to feel the emotion, this is when you begin to heal it. Jill says that any emotional reaction after 90 seconds is the choice to remain in that emotional loop. So I'd like to share one of my client stories with you. Jess is one of my first clients. She came to me because she felt like she was all alone and she didn't know where to turn. She didn't have a lot of friends and she was not at her ideal weight. So she's constantly being told that her problem was her weight and that if she lost a few pounds, her life would change. The problem was not Jess's weight. She was the same person whether she lost 120 or whether she weighed 120 pounds or 300 pounds. This was not going to change who she was on the inside. She had spent so much time focusing all her energy on that, her thoughts were actually making it worse. She was not comfortable with her weight, so she constantly worried about it and focused on it. And when she shared how she felt with others, the feedback she got only solidified what she was feeling. This was a slippery slope because it just kept adding to her insecurities and her incessant negative thinking. And her coping mechanisms were making it worse, causing her to continue to gain weight, which in turn caused her to feel worse about herself. This was causing Jess to drink more because drinking helped her to escape those negative thoughts, and in some ways helped her to escape her life because when she was intoxicated, she was more comfortable in her own skin and could actually act more confidently. She was diverting her energy into a literal time bomb just waiting to explode. Jess was one of the first clients that went through the program, and within the first 3 weeks, Jess was able to change her negative self talk into positive healing moments that were helping her to understand the beliefs behind her actions. You see, Jess grew up in a single parent home with 4 other siblings. Food wasn't always readily available because the money wasn't always there. So she grew up with the belief that food would not always be available. This caused Jess to unknowingly overeat when food was available because she didn't always know when or even if she would have her next meal. So this was a belief that she created in childhood. She didn't even realize that this was happening. It was her belief system that was driving her actions. Once we dug deeper into this belief system, she realized that there was a reason for this behavior, and she started to ease up on herself, to not be so hard on herself, and to practice compassion. So understanding why we say and do certain things is a really powerful tool in creating compassion, which opens the door to self-love. No matter what it is that you're obsessively thinking about, the reason behind it is the key that will open the door to your healing. This was Jess's reaction to the program. I can't believe the difference in myself since I started the program. It was the best thing I ever did for myself, and I have not felt the need to rely on alcohol for confidence since the program. I found my soul tribe and been able to embrace who I am as a person. I only knew this girl existed when I had liquid courage to back me up, and now I am this girl, and I'm really learning to love her. And oh, by the way, I've started losing weight, and I didn't even try. I just changed my belief system and monitor my thought process more closely now. What Jess did was she learned her unique energetic design and started applying the lessons of her chart to her life. And that started her healing. And it started healing her old conditioning and helping her to face life's challenges head on with a plan to grow and to heal those old wounds. These are the kind of, these are the kind of results that are possible for you too. The process itself is not easy. I'm going to be honest with you. It requires you to be 100% honest with yourself, and it requires that you step outside of your comfort zone. But I guarantee you that it is so worth it. We all have this power within us to change the world, but it's not something that's talked about. In fact, it almost seems like it's a big secret. But since I know how impactful this can be and how it can change so many lives, I'm not willing to keep it a secret. I want to share it with everyone. This is my mission, to help as many people as possible so that they can learn to love themselves from the inside out. And this brings me to core concept number 3, where I'm going to show you my discovery and how to shift your identity to match your energy so that you can find your purpose and create a life that you love. During my journey, I knew that until I really knew who I was, I wouldn't know what I really wanted. And somehow, over the prior 20 years, I had lost myself. I fell into the role of wife and mom, and I allowed those identities to take over my life. And that made it even more painful to admit to myself that I had done that to myself. I had been everyone else's support system. There was never any time to nourish myself, or so I told myself. And it had been so long, I didn't even begin to know how. I had made up those stories in my head that there was no time for me for so long that I had truly lost myself to the point where the story that I was telling myself was that I didn't matter. I had other obligations that needed my time more. And it was those stories I was telling myself that I needed to get to the root of. I felt unloved, unworthy, and all alone. It was in this self exploration that led me to learn that the key to our very existence is in our energy. This is where the answers are. Our energy can explain the patterns that have been repeating in our lives. It can lead us to our core wounds so that we know what to work on. It teaches us lessons and it helps us to practice self love and forgiveness, and it can promote healing within our body and our mind. Getting to the root cause of my feelings meant that I had to be able to understand my energy so that I could shift my energy. Our identity is not who we are, it's who we believe ourselves to be. This means that you have the power to change this. And I have discovered the exact process that helps you to find your unique identity and use it in a way in which it was designed to help you to create a life that you love. Each of us is born with a unique energetic design that shows us where we have consistent access to energy and where we might borrow it from others. Just like our identity is unique to us, so too is our energetic design. Our energetic design breaks down our unique energy to show us the story that we were designed to live out. It's like our own personal map. My mentor and teacher, Karen Curry Parker, she sometimes refers to human design as a love letter to yourself. It's the story of who you truly are on the inside. And our unique energy can tell us so much about ourselves, yet we're not ever taught how to feel it or use it. And this is what I'm here to help with. I studied all things energy and found that by combining them, we get a really clear picture of who we are. One of the main modalities that I use is human design. Human design is a school of thought that's based on Eastern and Western astrology, Chinese I Ching, the Hindu chakra system, the Jewish Kabbalah, and quantum physics. It's a blueprint of the story of your life. Our energetic design is like the GPS system of our life. It's a guidance system that leads us to unlock doors on our unique path. It shows us where to look and which energies get metabolized where, so that when we pay attention, we can find the lessons in our lives and use them as catalysts for our growth. Most of us have felt this in some way, but it goes much deeper than what most of us have felt. Have you ever walked into a room and felt tension, like you knew something was going on, you just didn't know what it was? Or have you ever maybe gotten caught up in the excitement of what's going on around you and felt giddy inside? We all have a unique way that energy shows up for us. And we all have felt it before. We just have never been trained in what it is and how to do something about it once we do feel it. It's our energy talking to you. And as you might expect, if you've ever felt the tension in a room, this is not just your energy, but you take on energy from others. That's why you feel that tension when you walk into a room when you know there's something going on. It's you taking in someone else's energies. And when you know where that is within yourself, you know that it's not yours. So you can empower yourself to feel your own energy, to understand that it's not yours, and to use it to help you, to help guide you. There are multiple aspects of human design, but one of the most important is energy type. And in human design, there's 5 energy types, and each type has the energy for different ways to go about living in the world. But even those that are the same type still live out their experiences differently. Each of us has different energetic patterns within us that make us unique. And even when we do have some of the same energies, just like no two people are the same, no two lives will follow the same paths or have the exact same lessons. Our experiences are all shaped by our beliefs. And remember from core concept number 1 that we all have different beliefs that shape us in different ways. There's several unique identifiers to help us to get to know our energy and how to best work with it as opposed to against it. But the first way is by living true to your unique energy type. So there's 5 energy types, and our energy type shows us how to embrace our creativity and live life in a way that helps us to harness our power and become the most fulfilled, dynamic version of ourselves. This in turn helps us to be successful as we're living according to our design, which calls back into us that which we want. So the 5 energy types, I'm going to go over the 5 energy types, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information on how when you're not aligned with that energy, how it can impact your life. So manifestors are 9% of the population. And manifestors are the starters. They're the ones who are here to start the process. So as a manifestor, they're here to start the process. But if a manifestor was raised by a generator or a manifesting generator, they may have been taught their whole lives that they need to wait. But a manifestor is a starter. They don't have to wait. But they wouldn't know any differently if they had never studied their energy type and known anything about this. And if they've been raised to wait their whole lives, that's all they know. So by this point in your life or in their lives, they may be feeling like that's natural because they've done it for so long. But if you are a manifestor, you're not designed to wait. You're designed to leap in and to lead. So when you understand your design, you can start living your design and watch the changes unfold in your life. It really is magical. The next energy type is a generator. And a generator is the most popular. They're 37% of the population. And these are the ones who are here to get shit done. But they can't just jump in like a manifestor. They need to have something to respond to. But once they respond to something, then they're the ones who make it happen. They're the doers of the group. So a generator may be constantly trying to figure out what's next and maybe jumping to the next right thing or jumping from thing to thing, trying to figure out what to do. But generators need to learn to trust that the next right thing is just going to show up for them. And when they jump from thing to thing, they're living out of alignment. They have to wait for the right things to present themselves before they leap into action. A manifesting generator is the third energy type, and they're 33% of the population. And as you might have guessed, this is a combination of the manifestor and the generator. And they're here to be multitaskers. They're the ones who get shit done faster. So manifesting generators can become frustrated because things might not be moving fast enough for them. And they may try to force things to happen only to have things fall apart because they might have missed steps. When you understand how to work with your energy, you can prevent these slowdowns and only get involved in the things that are right for you. And a manifester also needs to respond to something, but they also could initiate in some scenarios. But trying to force things to happen is a manifesting generator living out of alignment. The next energy type is a projector. And a projector is 20% of the population. And they are considered to be the spiritual sparkle of the future. These are the ones who are here to lead us into the future, to show us a more heart-centered way of living in the world. Projectors aren't designed to work a 9-to-5 job, so when they get stuck in one, because that's what society told them to do, they can become depressed and hold themselves back. And they may take it personally, like there's something wrong with them. But the truth is, they just don't have the energy to sustain themselves in that way. When we understand this, it allows us to cut ourselves some slack and forgive ourselves for having felt like there was something wrong with us for so long. It helps us to be comfortable making choices that we know are right for us, regardless of what anyone else says or what anyone else thinks. I have found human design to be a process whereby it allows me to forgive myself for choices that I've made that were not aligned with my energy, because it's taught me that it really isn't my fault. I just didn't know any better. And the last energy type is a reflector, and this is 1% of the population. So this is a very, very rare energy type. And this energy is completely open. So they really feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. They're here to take in other people's energies and then reflect back to the world where we may need to calibrate our vibration. Reflectors are designed to take on other people's energy and amplify it so that their feelings can change. Depending on who they're with. And that can cause a lot of confusion and pain. They can feel things on such a deep level and take this pain on as their own. With everything going on in the world today, this can really be a painful design to have. And when you don't realize it, that it isn't really your energy that you have, it really makes it even more painful. But when you realize it's not your energy to begin with, then you can start to use it in a different way, and you learn how to use it in order to help you to heal those inner wounds and to help you to grow. So each energy type has a different way in which they're designed to interact in the world, and each type has a strategy and authority that, when followed, helps you to live in alignment with your unique design so that you can work towards living out your purpose. Understanding your energy gives you the tools that you need to heal and grow through the rest of your life. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Your strategy is like a clear plan of action. It's the way in which you should respond to life. And it's tied to your energy type because each energy type has a different way of responding. And your authority is the way in which you feel the energy within you, so that you know how to respond or what to respond to when the time is right. So all energy has a purpose. We need to understand our unique energy, as there are so many things that it can help us to understand. Our pain is there to show us that there's something within us that needs to be healed. It's just like when you hurt yourself physically, that pain is telling you that something needs attention. It can lead us to the lessons that we're here to learn, and it can explain the repeat patterns that we continually experience. Our energetic design shows us where we have consistent access to energy and where we may need to connect with others in order to make things happen. We're taught to go out in the world and just make things happen, but we aren't all designed that way. And making things happen works differently for each of us, depending on our design. The feelings of frustration, bitterness, disappointment, these are our energy that are showing us that we're operating incorrectly, but we're never told this. And we continue to go on operating the same way. We're all here to learn. Life is a soul curriculum for us, and human design can show us the areas of our lives that hold the biggest lessons for us, the help in understanding the why. And I know for myself, I've chased the why my whole life. We're not all created the same, and each of us has a unique energetic design that's designed to guide us through different lessons in order to get us to the destination that our soul chose for us. There are several parts of our design that, when we put them all together, helps us to decipher what our feelings are really trying to tell us and how to use them to create. This is how you're able to create a life you love. When you understand the why, you can finally stop battling those voices in your head that keep going back and forth. It gives us the permission to be ourselves and to practice self-love. Understanding our energy is a great way to choose ourselves, to finally put ourselves first, and to understand who we are on the inside, to find our purpose and be confident in who we are so that we can create a life we love. To learn how to create from within so that what you call back into your life matches the vibe that you want to feel, creating the happiness and the fulfillment that you've been searching for. And if you're anything like me, you've been searching for that your whole life. Imagine what it would feel like to be free from all of the weights of the past, to be able to let all of that go and to freely live your life as you want. Imagine finding your inner superpower. Your energy is the key to healing your past and getting to the bottom of your core wounds. So when you're able to decode your energetic language, you finally understand all of the whys that you've been chasing your entire life. Processing your energy correctly promotes wellness and healing. This is why you need a step-by-step plan that helps you to dig into your unique energy and your subconscious mind so that you can learn how and why it operates the way that it does and what it is that's causing you to feel so disconnected. A proven process that will allow you to stop wasting time on all the things that don't work and just focus on you and your healing so that you can find yourself and reconnect so that you can create a life you love. Here's what I discovered works. A step-by-step plan that explains how it works, where it comes from, how to recognize what's causing blockages, and how to remove those blockages so that it works for you and not against you. Understanding your human design helps you to know what's right for you and how to make decisions that will catapult your growth instead of stalling your growth. Understanding where to find your conditioning and where it comes from gives you permission to change your beliefs and create a new identity that's more aligned with your authentic inner self. Having access to a professional that's been through it and helped others through it that can answer your questions and provide the support you need. And live coaching, mentoring, and a sense of community and accountability all rolled into one program so that the complete structure is there. You just have to show up and be honest with yourself. This process was a complete game changer for me. This is what helped me to find myself and create a new identity more suited to my authentic self. The holistic energy empowerment system brings you step by step through several ways to get to know yourself and unique energy so that you can discover your unique superpowers. Each step guides you through the importance of listening to your energy and how to interpret what it's telling you. The program includes weekly coaching calls with live direct access to me, where you can ask any questions or get clarity on what you're learning. It also includes a private Facebook community where you can share and build relationships so that together we can provide accountability and support each other on this journey. As I said in the beginning, it's really important to me that you learn from someone who understands what you're going through, someone who's been through it and understands the feelings of doubt and confusion that you carry. I was there. I went through the whole gamut of thoughts and believed most of them, even the really bad ones, like you're worthless. As a professional with expertise in interpreting energy through human design, and who has a method to help you to get to know who you are from the inside out, gain self-confidence, and start living the authentic version of you, I will show you how to master your lessons so that you do not have to continually repeat the same lessons over and over. And you can confidently find yourself growing into that version of you that you've always dreamed of being. I spent so much time on trial and error, but without it, I would never have been able to create this program. I was able to try so many different methods and put some of them together to create a program that transforms lives. I also would never have been able to break outside of my comfort zone to come here and do this for you today. This is unlike anything I've ever done before. And if you told me even just 3 years ago that this is what I was going to be doing, I would have thought that your hopes for me were way too high. This is how little I felt of myself and how powerful this system is. What I learned about myself in the process was so much more than I ever imagined possible. It's a tool that gives you permission to fall in love with yourself and want to keep striving to make your life better. It's a gift that teaches you to love yourself and it shows others how to love you. No more back burner, not good enough, not loved enough, not confident enough. When you learn to love yourself from the inside out, others will feel that energy and follow suit. It becomes your new identity. So now it's your turn to transform and remember how you love yourself teaches others how to love you. So now that you know that there's a better way, would you rather continue to repeat the same lessons? Or would you rather learn how your energy works for you so that you can use these lessons to catapult your healing and growth? If any of this or anything that we've talked about in this masterclass has hit home for you, or even if you're feeling any fear around this is your energy that's telling you that it's time to put you first. I've set up some time in my calendar to talk with you to see if you're a good fit for this program, to see if I can help you to take your life back. This call is for anyone who's looking to find themselves or anyone who's been taking care of everyone but themselves for so long that they forgot who they were. Or maybe they never even really knew. It's for anyone struggling with self-worth, self-confidence, their purpose, holding on to the past, or suffering from stress and anxiety, or even if you just want to get to know yourself or who you really are. This call is not for those who are not willing to be 100% honest with themselves or not willing to step outside their comfort zone. It's not for somebody who's not willing to take action and do the inner work or not open to change. This is not a quick fix process. So if you're looking for just a quick fix, then this isn't the program for you. This program teaches you the strategies that you need to continue learning about yourself on the deepest of levels using your own unique energy. So it's unique to you. It's going to help you to grow and develop on your journey of life, but it's a lifelong process and it requires your participation because it is you who holds the power of your transformation. Isn't it at least worth a call to see if this program could work for you? If you're finally ready to put yourself first and learn everything you can about you so that you can learn to love yourself from the inside out, schedule a call and start creating change in your life today. In this call, you're going to gain clarity around where you're at, what your challenges are, and it's going to offer you a direction to move forward, living a life that you love. So let's do a review of the core concepts that I just went over. Here's what you learned during our time together today. In core concept number 1, we talked about how we're all conditioned to lose ourselves in one way or another. And it's part of life. And one of the things that trips us up because we're not taught to be ourselves. We're taught to be good little boys and girls by following society's rules. As a mom, society shows us how to do a good job by doing all the mom things, but society doesn't show us that it's okay and actually healthy to do anything for ourselves. So we just get caught up in being mom and caregiver. And this is why we lose ourselves. It isn't really our fault. In core concept number 2, we talked about how you hold the power. And if you change nothing, nothing will change. The change starts from within. We have to practice awareness so that we can recognize those areas of our life where we might need some extra love and attention. Blocking our energy is not healthy, so we have to reflect on our childhood and release that blocked energy. Our energy needs to be in constant motion and has a specific path to follow in order to keep us healthy. And when we interrupt that flow by throwing up those walls or those barriers, it can impact our health. It only takes 90 seconds to process those thoughts and let them go. In core concept number 3, we talked about shifting your identity to find your purpose within your energetic design. Creating a new identity that's more aligned with who you're meant to be helps us to reduce stress and anxiety in our lives. And it helps us to process our feelings in a healthy way, which is important in keeping our mind and our bodies healthy. The holistic energy empowerment system is a system that you need to help you to find your way back to yourself, to help you to shift your identity and find your purpose. It's 100% geared towards your unique design, and it teaches you how each of us is unique. We all have our own energetic blueprint so that we can make the best decisions for us, so that we can free ourselves from an identity that we never really connected with to begin with. It's going to help you to connect to your own energy and become who you were designed to be, while helping you to gain confidence, self-worth, and self-love along the way. When we're not in alignment with our energy, this is when chaos breaks out. Understanding this allows us to be aware when something doesn't feel right, so that we can course correct. You came here today because you're looking for a way to change your life, for the better. Maybe you haven't been able to escape this lonely, lost, painful feeling, and nothing you've tried has been working, and you're not sure where to turn next. The concepts that I've showed you today are the concepts that I use in the holistic energy empowerment system, along with specific details to help you to find the energy within you that needs some extra love. I also walk you through step by step through the human design system so that you can learn how to interpret your unique energy so that you can use it to work for you. Give yourself permission to change your story and create the identity of the person that you want to become. At the beginning of this training, I made you a promise. I promised that I would show you why it's not your fault that you feel disconnected. In fact, the reason you're feeling disconnected is because your energy is asking you to do something. To find your new and improved midlife identity by understanding your unique energy so that you know where you need to make adjustments in your life and you can embrace your life purpose. Now, here's the thing I want you to remember. Everything that I've shared with you today isn't some random theory or some idea that might work for you. Everything that I walked you through today has been proven to be effective. It worked for me and it's worked for my clients who've all started from a similar spot that you're in right now. Getting to know yourself is key to your success in every area of your life. We all have busy lives trying to balance family, work, friends, and our own self-care. If we can all do it, I'm confident that you can do it too. And I'm certain that it will be worth it for you. You can never go wrong by investing in yourself. Some people think that self-care is selfish. I disagree 100%. How can you truly nurture yourself when you're operating out of conditioning and you don't even really know who you are? Nurturing yourself and getting to know who you are is key to your success. And I guarantee that you're going to love the new you. So now it's up to you. I gave you the basic tools that you need. What you do with them is going to be up to you. How you prioritize yourself is really important. So I hope that you're able to make the right decision and use your energy to shift your identity. When you make yourself a priority, you're going to be able to move mountains. I hope you're ready to put yourself first. So, does any of what we talked about today sound like what you've been struggling with? Do you struggle with understanding who you are or why you do the things you do? Do you want to know more about you, where your conditioning lies within, and what makes you tick? Or figure out your purpose in life and how to get there? If any of this or anything that we've talked about in this masterclass has hit home, you owe it to yourself to schedule a call and change your life today. It's free, and it's the first sign. If any of this has hit home, it's the first sign from your energy that it's well worth a call. One of the biggest things that holds us back is our lack of self-confidence. The whole reason that we're here in this masterclass is because we've allowed ourselves to be held back by our limiting beliefs and comfort zones for too long. It's time to put your fears aside and put yourself first. You have the power to change your life as long as you choose the right definition of fear. So now you have a choice. You can forget everything and run. And by that I mean continue to do what you're doing, bouncing from one thing to another, trying to find the perfect fix and hoping that it works, even though it hasn't before. Or you can face everything and rise by using a proven system with accountability and amazing amount of personal growth potential so that you can not only meet, but exceed your goals. Listen, of all people, I understand how scary it is to step outside your comfort zone, but I'm asking you to not let it stop you from creating your dream life. The choice is yours. Through the masterclass, you heard me mention the holistic energy empowerment system. And this is how I can help you to learn to use your unique energy to help you to harness your power and take your life back. This program teaches you how to use your unique energy to show you where you need to heal. It goes into the details of human design and shows you how to decode your unique energy within your body so that you know exactly what areas of your life you need to give some extra love. It also helps you to understand the why behind your thoughts and even your life up till now. It shows you where to look for the lessons that you might be here to master to help you to understand what you need to learn so that you don't have to keep repeating the same lessons over and over and over again. This means that you have the power to heal from the inside out on the deepest of levels, allowing you an enormous amount of personal growth potential. So the power is in your hands, the power to create your dream life. I know for me, when I went through this, it made me feel like when I started doing it, it made me feel like it was possible, like I really could have the life that I wanted, but I was definitely fearful. I was scared shitless. And that fear is the energy telling us that it is something outside of our comfort zone, but that's where the magic is. The way that I have to look at fear now is if it's not going to kill me within the next 2 minutes, then it's the type of fear that's telling me to, in order to grow and to explore more of myself, I need to push through that fear. That's where our magic happens. So take the leap and finally put yourself first. So I'm so honored to be sharing this opportunity with you because this is the best way that I can help you and how I can personally support each and every one of you. So you're going to gain so much confidence. You're going to wonder why this call is free, and you're going to think that I should be charging for this. So while I'm certainly not the only one in the coaching business, there's lots of other people doing what I'm doing, which is awesome. But what makes me unique is that I work with my clients through teaching them to work with their own unique human design to help them to use it in a way in which it was designed for them. It allows them to take what I teach further so that the healing doesn't stop when the course ends. It's a lifelong journey, and I'm going to give you the tools that you need to continue on a healing journey for the rest of your life. You see, here's the thing. No matter how much we heal, we're going to experience triggers in our lives. And having the tools to recognize that and heal our deep, dark inner wounds and never having to watch them spiral out of control again is going to give our power back. I transformed my own life as well as my clients' lives by combining several different modalities used to understand individual unique energy, which gives us the power to take our healing as deep within as we'd like to go. So here's what I want you to do next. I'm going to post the link to the Life Strategy Empowerment call in the chat. So go ahead and use that link in the chat box to schedule your call. And there are limited time slots, so you want to make sure that you do this now. I'm going to put this in the chat right now. I just sent it. So you want to make sure that you do this now because there are limited opportunities. So don't wait. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity. And so when you get over to my online schedule, this is what it's going to look like. It's super easy. And once you're there, you're going to click on book and the calendar is going to open. And then you'll notice that there's a time zone at the top, and that's here. And just make sure that you choose the right time zone. I'm in Eastern time zone, so make sure you book appropriately for your time zone. You're also going to notice that there are multiple appointment times to choose from. So just pick the one that works with your schedule by clicking on a time and then click continue. And that's going to take you to an intake form where you're going to enter your information. And you're going to notice that I asked for your birth information, and there's also a question about what you hope to get out of our call. All of this information is so that I can best support you, and having your birth information will allow me to run your unique design so that when we talk, we can talk a little bit about that and how I can help you with that on our call. After you schedule your call you'll get a confirmation, and you'll also receive a confirmation email of our phone call and what to expect. So I'll call you at the time of your appointment. So make sure that your ringer's on and that you're in a quiet space so that we can make sure that you are the priority of this time. The call will last approximately 30 to 45 minutes, and you're going to leave that call with an idea of what your unique energy says about you and where you may be holding on to pain. So I do want to be respectful of your time, as I know you will mine as well. So the call is limited to 45 minutes. So I'll contact you at the start time of the call. So all you have to do is make sure your ringer's on, you're ready to learn about what makes you tick, and that you're in a nice quiet place and ready to give that time back to you. So now that you've seen how to schedule your life strategy empowerment call with me, I want to cover a couple of specifics. On the empowerment call, I'm going to help you to identify where you are now, what you want your life to look like, and how to get there. So we're going to get clear on your biggest challenges, what your unique energy says about you, how to use your feelings as a barometer to know what you need to heal, and how to change your thoughts from self-sabotaging to self-healing. This way, by the time the call is over, you're going to leave with helpful strategies that are going to help you to propel your success. So the way that we define ourselves shapes who we are. So we have to be willing to look at the identity that we've given to ourselves and be willing to explore changing it if we want to make changes in our lives. So I do this call because I want to help as many people as I can that want to help themselves, because this process is not as simple as learning and forgetting. You actually have to do the work within. This call is not for anyone who's not willing to be 100% honest with themselves, not willing to take action, not willing to look at things from different perspectives, not willing to step outside their comfort zone, or anyone who doesn't feel like they're ready to take action. This isn't a quick fix process either. So if you're looking for just a quick fix, then this isn't the program for you. This program teaches you the strategies that you need to continue learning about yourself on the deepest of levels. It's going to help you to continue to grow and develop on your journey of life. But this is a lifelong process, so it requires your participation, because it's you who holds the power of your own transformation. If you're someone who wants the support and accountability so that you can sidestep all of the obstacles that used to hold you back, then make sure you schedule your call now, because spots are limited. I don't have a call center. It's just going to be you and I on a call, and we're going to jump on the phone together so that I can do my absolute best to support you. So even if you've tried counseling, group meetings, numbing your pain, whatever it is that you've tried and it hasn't worked, since this program focuses on your unique energy, it's tailored to you and it works. This works for you because it's based on your personal unique energy, and it includes the support and accountability that traditional methods don't. There are nuances that only an expert can help you with, because there are many other factors involved that traditional programs don't cover. Our unique energy says so much about us and explains things that most of us never even knew existed. It still blows my mind that we aren't taught this in school growing up. Understanding our unique energy is the only way that I have found to explain my life and to help me to have compassion for myself and all that I've been through. And I want to provide the same clarity for you. So head on over to the online calendar to secure your life strategy empowerment call right now, because there's a very big difference between trying to figure this out on your own and working with an expert who has a track record of success. So I'm going to go into questions now. I'm going to go over some of the most popular questions that I'll turn my screen back on for this. I'm going to go over some of the most popular questions, but I know this is a big commitment for you, and so I want to assure you that it is worth it. This is the best thing that you can do for yourself to help to give you the clarity that you need to get your life back on track and back on a path where you're growing within yourself. So I put together some of my most popular questions, and I'll go over some of them with you. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box and I'll answer those as we go through. So how can you see your unique energetic design? So human design uses your birth information, the time, date, and place of where you were born, because this is where the neutrinos, which are the energy, went into your body. That's the time that those neutrinos went into your body. And so that's where you get your energy from. And then there's two different sides to human design. The other side of that is 88 days prior to your birth, your energy from that day. And that is the day where in utero, where the majority of your brain cells are developing. And so that's why 88 days is the subconscious side of our design, or the unconscious side of our design. How can human design help you? Well, human design is like a roadmap, and it shows you exactly where to go to find the beliefs that you hold that are no longer serving you. It shows you who you are beneath those beliefs and gives you the freedom to let go of the beliefs that aren't serving you anymore. It shows you how you were meant to interact with the world, and it helps direct you to your purpose in life. It's like your soul curriculum, showing you the lessons that you need to learn in order to help you to master your lessons and to help you to grow. What are the most impactful areas to learn in human design? Your type, strategy, and authority are the main staples of your design, but it goes so much deeper than that. But just in understanding your type, strategy, and authority, it's going to go a long way in helping you to understand who you are. Each type has a not self theme, and that's going to show you when you're not in alignment. And then each type also has a signature, and your signature shows you when you are in alignment, or where you may need to add a little bit of love or attention to your life. When you understand your energy, it's easy to know what your next step should be, because your energy is telling you exactly what you need to know, where you need to go, what you need to heal. Your energy is going to literally tell you through those stories in your head and through the way that you feel. And once you understand human design, where you feel it in your body and what you feel is going to help you to understand that. So how does the holistic energy empowerment system work? So there is a lot of information in the program. It's something that we will go over on the phone to get into some of the details of it. But just a general overview, it's a course that's designed over 12 modules, and you can do more than one module at a time, but it's recommended that you do one module at a time so that you can learn it and let it sink in. They're designed to do one a week. Like I said, you can do more, but it's all pre-recorded lessons. So you can listen to it on the way to work. You can listen to it at work. You can listen to it anywhere. There is work to do at the end of each module, but it's not overbearing. It's just enough to help support you to drive what you learned in that lesson home. It's just going to support you with those learnings. And then we have live weekly calls where I'm available to ask any questions too. I do encourage questions because it helps me to learn and grow too by working with you and working with your energy. So we have a live weekly call that's a group coaching call, where we just jump on a call and I answer any questions that you have. And then if we don't have a lot of questions, I may go into stuff that might go a little bit deeper into some of the lessons. And it's a rolling program. So some people may be on week 3 and some people may be on week 12. But I did it that way because I want everybody to be able to hear the questions and see how other people are taking in that energy and how it's working for them. Some of the questions that I've received about booking a call, if you're on the fence about booking a call, then that's probably your energy telling you that you should. Your energy is going to guide you. If you feel any fear at all, it's probably your energy telling you you would have to jump outside your comfort zone, and that's where we need to go in order to heal. There was some people that said that they felt so lost that they couldn't explain who they were or what they were feeling, and so they didn't feel like they were ready for the program because of that. But this call is perfect for you if that's how you're feeling, because that's where I was at myself. That's where I was at myself when I started this program, or when I created this program, because I wanted to help people just like me to learn to use the energy that was within them. And it's a free call, so it's not going to hurt you to just jump on a call and see what it's all about. And if you're working with another practitioner, you can use this program as well with them or without them, but where there are going to be some weeks where you might need to dig a little bit deeper, it might be good to work with another practitioner. You don't have to, but if you're already working with another practitioner, it might help you to kind of combine the two. What if I need to discuss it with my spouse first? Should I still book a call? My calendar is set up so that there are several times, so you can book a time that's convenient for you, and that'll give you time to talk to your spouse first. I don't see any questions in the chat, so if any of what I've talked about throughout this webinar has resonated with you in any way, you should definitely book a call. You don't have anything to lose. It's free. And the call is the second major step in the direction of healing that you can take. The first was you coming here today, which I applaud you. I know how difficult that can be, or that probably was for you. I can't wait to chat with you, and chatting is really the best way that we can determine if you're ready for this step. In fact, the fact that you're still here tells me that you're probably ready and you're probably committed. So I'm going to stop my video now, and we're going to go into the freebie. So I want to thank all of you for being here. Without you, I couldn't do this. And this is what I love. So I want to express my sincerest gratitude. This journey has opened my eyes to so many things. And I hope that today offered you a glimpse into the ways in which you can start taking back parts of your life that fear may have caused you to abandon. As a thank you for joining me live and staying to the end, I want to gift you with my free ebook for beginners. My free ebook, which is Beginner's Guide to Human Design. Understanding your energy helps to put you back in the driver's seat of your life so that you can use the right strategy in interacting with others to make life work for you instead of against you. Life happens for us, not to us. And when we understand our energy and how it works for us, we can more easily understand the lessons that they're presenting so that we can face the challenges head on to master the lessons that much quicker. So I'm going to post the link for this free guide in the chat for you. Make sure to copy that link and download your guide today so that you can start getting to know the new you. So I'm going to copy the link right now. And it's in the chat. Okay, just posted the link. Okay, we did it, everyone. We've gotten to the end. So I want to thank you so much for coming today. I have loved sharing my journey with you, as well as Jess's success story. And I can't wait to help you have the same success on your journey. My mission, my purpose on this planet is to save the right people from having to experience what I did and give them a simpler way to achieve self mastery through gaining confidence and clarity around who you are and how you can use your energy, to guide you to your dream life. Learning to love who you are on every level, because we're all here with the same mission. So why not enjoy the mission, love the mission that we're on, and enjoy the journey? If you decide to book a call, then I can't wait to talk to you. If not, I hope the information that I provided you today does help to support you on your journey. And if you change your mind, you can find me on my free Facebook community group, where I also give out lots of free information. So please feel free to join me there. That's at www.facebook.com/groups/self-love journey. So once again, I'll post the link to book that call in the chat. Just copy that and throw it into your browser and book a call with me. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your energy and your time with me. And I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you. I hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.